Okay, Sunday, 3rd of May, 2026. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Burning goodwill. Now, one very interesting meta pattern I've noticed with human nature is burning goodwill. Good relations that people have, we could say in terms of society, by any level, people, groups, tribes, even to the level of anthropology. When there is goodwill between people, goodwill and peace on earth, that kind of nice little cliche. When there is goodwill, we are, as a civilization, one step closer to world peace. Okay, it's when certain tribes, and I use that extremely loosely, certain tribes in mankind act perversely in their own selfish interest instead of the dominating societal's best interest, or culture, country, or even tribe. Let's be a bit loose there, because the age we live in. When they burn goodwill by acting in their own interest at the expense of other tribes, then we have tension, then we have social tension. And I've noticed subtly at a deep level, it's that just burning goodwill, good relations, that ability just to forgive and forget, water under the bridge, or dust it under the rug, that kind of behavior, that kind of margin of error. When that margin of error, that suspension, if you will, is burnt too much and is pushed to the limits too often in society, in a tribe, in a community, in a country, you name it, then that's when social tensions rise. So then you could say, well, as a tribe, it's worthwhile being aware to what extent you are burning goodwill in a society. Because when that goodwill is gone, forgiveness becomes scarce, becomes rare. And what replaces it? Well, I can think of something specific, but in this day and age, it's probably best to avoid those kind of phrases. Mistrust, let's put it that way, at a very loose way. Mistrust at least replaces it. And what does that lead to? Oh, well, it leads to disliking, let's say. And you can imagine what else that leads to in life. But that, I've subtly noticed that at a civilizational level, when goodwill is burned, mismanaged, abused, destroyed, at the sake of someone else, or the expense of someone else, or the predominant society, then you get all kinds of interesting social tensions and problems, to put it very loosely. But it's that, at a deep level, maintain goodwill. Really, then you could say just have good relations with people at a deeper level. You can go real deep with that and say that's what Jesus kind of talks about, really. Love one another as you love yourself, at an even deeper level, to compress it even more. Fair enough. But that, what I've noticed, when goodwill is being burnt, then the social barometer says, the social trend, the direction says, there's problems here. How and when is a different question, but something's going to happen. So be conscious of that. Is goodwill being maintained, grown? Is it flourishing, or is it being burnt, abused, mismanaged, and beyond? Interesting, very interesting. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.